Sonny, Joey, 500. Got some goats in the field. Get ready for a shakedown. Prepare for a shakedown. We from Philly where they clap like huddles when they break down. Get ready for a shakedown. We underdogs, my guy kinda used to all the hate now. Prepare for it, man, y'all get it. My QB got swag, my wideout is award winning. This fly was fly. Joey and 500. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Here's a quote you can sing back. Shake squad up and don't be a dingbat. It's a shakedown.
Don't you frown.
Shakedown.
Here comes Philly Shakedown.
Let's go.
What is going on, guys? We have a special episode today, the Philly Shakedown, episode 39. My co-host, Philly 500, as usual. That wasn't late. He actually made it on time. But we have a special guest in Baddog for Baddog Sports. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's up? Who does your intro, by the way?
Joe Castro from Philly, the podcast.
Nice.
He did that. Yeah.
Like
We
that.
figured everybody was getting rap songs, and I was trying to do mine. I was like, don't you frown. It's Philly Shakedown. I was like, this really sucks. And he was like, I'll do it for you. And I'm like, okay. And he killed it.
You made a rap song for me that's still at the top of the chart. So
Oh, that's a world-class hit. That's a world-class hit.
So as of right now, you have two teams, the Eagles and the Giants right now. Obviously, the Giants are struggling right now. The Eagles are kind of finding their identity very slowly. I want to know from you, Bad Dog, just a short summary of like what you've from the off season till what you've been going through the middle of the season just until now of how this Giants team has been playing.
I mean, we suck. I mean, that's really the basis of it. I mean, as Giants fans, I think we've been disappointed for 5 years, but I do believe this was a year where I thought a lot of us thought we could turn it around, because last year it seemed like we had turned the corner. We were 5-3 in our last 8 games. We go out, we address the need of a number 1 wide receiver in Kenny Golladay. We shore up the number 2 cornerback spot in Adoree Jackson. These guys rode with the line that they brought in. We knew the line would be a question. There was also a lot of talk, Daniel Jones is going to be better because it's a second year under this system and everything else. So you went into the season thinking, okay, well, maybe we'll win, some games this year, but different year, same story with the New York Giants. No, it is.
I'm sorry. I love every minute of this.
No, you're not.
Oh man, I do. There's part of me that does feel bad for you guys a little bit,
Nice.
because I remember going back to the summer where Bad Dog said I was delusional because I said 7 to 10 wins, and Chris said I'm delusional. And then Chris was like, "Well, we're gonna win like 12 games." I'm like, you're gonna win 12 games, Daniel Jones? Come on, I don't know, Bad Dog. I want to know from you, Daniel Jones' 3rd year. We talked a lot. We talked about this before that it was really a big year for him. What do you think? Like, is he the future of the Giants? Do they give up on him? What do you think is going to happen?
So I think he has another year for the simple fact that there are no quarterbacks in this year's draft class that the Giants can use. And, our offensive line still stinks. If you're going to – looks like we're going to have 2 top 10 picks this year. So if you're going to bring in another quarterback, you'd like to shore up the offensive line. And, hey, maybe if they shore up the offensive line, maybe Daniel Jones finds something here for most Giants fans know my contention with Jones is not physically. I think he throws a nice deep ball. I think that he can throw the ball. I think he can run the ball. I think that he can do a lot of things that NFL quarterbacks need to do. But the ability to process has never come around. He processes very slowly. He's a one-read quarterback. You just look at Kenny Golladay wide open in the beginning of the Tampa game. We should have tied it up. He just looked at Kadarius Toney and threw it over there. He didn't. All he had to do was look, touchdown. But he doesn't do that, and he hasn't done that. And I don't know if that's something that can be coached. I feel like that's just instinctual. This is his 3rd full season, and it hasn't come around yet. Maybe that has something to do with him getting knocked in his ass a lot with his back because of a bad offensive line. So maybe next year there's something. But I think the Giants, no matter what, have to address the offensive line. That way, if they do go quarterback year 5, after Jones's year next year, he'll be set up for success. But we'll see. Gettleman's not going to be here next year. Who knows if Judge is going to be here next year? He got fired. So there's going to be a wholesale change with the Giants. We'll see exactly what happens. But I do think Daniel Jones will be back here next year.
Is it too much to blame with David Gettleman between all those contracts he gave out? Is there some contracts you do agree with, but necessarily don't think it's their fault as players getting big contracts?
I mean, the Galladay thing, I can't blame him for that. I mean, we needed a number one receiver. We needed a big target. I thought that was a good move. I know that they overpaid. I mean, everybody overpays for free agents.
You have to nowadays.
Right.
If you're going to do a free agency, you're going to.
I feel like Adoree Jackson's played very well for us.
I do too.
Had a good year. Galladay dealt with some injuries. Again, I don't know how much of it is Galladay not being open, Jones not looking over there. You know, one Giants fan told me, and he made a good point, because I was like, I should be killing Kenny Galladay. He's making all this money. But he said, you know, Baddog, if Galladay's not his first read, he probably ain't seen him. And that's a fact. He looks for Darius Slayton a lot. And Slayton is probably our worst wide receiver, but ever since that rookie year, that's his favorite target, him and Ingram. And I can't blame him for that. The Leonard Williams thing, it's hard to blame him for that too. Leonard Williams had a great year last year. We know that. Gettleman traded for Leonard Williams a couple of years ago when it didn't seem like it made any sense, so I didn't think that he would let him walk either. But you know what? The Giants as a franchise seem to overvalue their talent a lot, and I think that gets them in the predicament that they're in now. Gettleman, more than anything, with the contracts, the Solder contract was bad. That was a bad one. But again, it was a necessity. I mean, he did the contract stuff out of necessity. It just hasn't worked. But his draft picks have been terrible. And that's in the NFL, you build at a draft. There's a cap. So you bring in a couple of guys here, a couple of guys there to fill in the needs, but you win with your draft picks. Okay. You haven't drafted well. Outside of Andrew Thomas, I mean, there's a couple of Giants fans that believe in Daniel Jones, but I think a lot of them the ship has sailed. Barkley certainly isn't what he was his rookie season. As a matter of fact, if you add all Barkley's statistics up since his rookie season, they don't even add up to his rookie season statistics. He looks like he's running scared. Offensive line, terrible. Lemieux hurt. O'Shane Zeman is garbage. Mr. Lawrence is just kind of a guy. He does not really a playmaker. DeAndre Baker, not even in the league anymore. Sam Beal, the latest of the terrible drafting of Gettleman. So I really think that's why the Giants are where they are, because the drafting has been awful here for years. And it started in 2011 with Jerry Reese. Their drafting is bad, and that's why we've been bad for 10 years. That'll do it. You guys know. Yeah. You guys know how it is.
Oh, yeah. Too well.
We got super chat the Phillies Ace 34. Thank you very much, man. He says Stella Bad Dog to Philly 500. Joey Shakes Fly Eagles Fly. Let's beat the Giants and make sure Bad Dog rocks the Allen jersey. You know he is a closet fan.
He loves Eric Allen.
I do.
And Eric Allen, I think he's like a semifinalist now for the Hall of Fame or something too. He may actually get him.
He's a Hall of Fame.
Definitely.
When I made that, I was so confident, man. I'm like, the Eagles are gonna see. Listen, I got to give you guys credit. Way better than I did pick you to win 6 games this year, but way better than I thought you would.
Has your opinion of Jalen Hurts changed at all?
After week 1, I made the video, said Jalen Hurts has the it factor. Okay.
He does, yeah.
And again, this is a guy that I watched play for Oklahoma, which Oklahoma is tied at 24, a huge game for Oklahoma right now. I still think Hurts is a good passer. I don't think he'll ever be a good passer. His numbers against the Saints were pedestrian. Was he 11 out of 24? He didn't throw barely anything at all against the Lions. But what he does is he knows how to win, and he knows how to make plays. He does something that Jones doesn't. See, I think Jones is a better passer. But Jones, again, one of the Giants content creators says Jones is like the kid where he loses his parents in the mall and just kind of is like, you can see it. Hurts is so confident, he feels pressure, he knows when to get out of the pocket, he knows when to make the play with his legs, and he finds ways to win games. I mean, he had 2 rushing touchdowns, and that's all you need from your quarterback.
Right.
So again, I don't know if it's only a second year. Maybe he will get better as a passer, but even at Oklahoma and Alabama, I didn't think he was a good passer, but he definitely has an it factor that Jones doesn't. And that's a guy that knows how to win and knows how to make plays with his legs and feels the pressure and can get outside the pocket and really put the defense in a bad spot because you don't know if he's going to run or throw. I feel like he's improved this year, but I also feel like Joey and I were talking about this right before we went live. The running game certainly has helped Jalen Hurts. And you guys know after the first game, when you ran the ball and had short, safe passes against the Falcons, I was like, where the hell was that the next 3 games? Why do you have him throwing 45 times? That's stupid.
Right. Yeah.
You figured it out. You're winning games.
Yep. Yeah. That did a lot for him. I think it slowed up the game because I think they really were putting too much on him. And I think that slowed up the game enough for him to, where now it's like they got to stop the run. The Eagles ran the ball 50 times last game. 50 times.
Yeah.
But, at some point, Jalen Hurts is going to have to win games with his arm. At some point, defense could come along and shut that running game down, and it's going to be up to him. I don't know if he's what he is in the future. I think at this point, he's earned another year. That's kind of where I am with Jalen Hurts. I think he's earned the right to start next year.
Yeah, I don't think you guys want a quarterback either. I don't think there's any really good quarterbacks coming out of this draft. So, there's always a guy that may jump up there, but Matt Corral. Spencer Rattler was a Heisman favorite. He got benched in favor of a true freshman at Oklahoma,
right.
Caleb Williams. A lot of people talk about Malik Willis. I don't watch Liberty play, so I couldn't tell you anything about Malik Willis.
What about you guys? Would you guys, having potentially 2 top 10 picks, would you possibly trade for a Russell Wilson or a Deshaun Watson? Could you see a scenario where Giants would do that? Deshaun
Watson, I would love. I wanted to draft Deshaun Watson in 2017. He's younger, and he's a freak. Like Giants fans are, Daniel Jones' offensive line stinks. Well, the Texans' offensive line was horrible last year. They traded away DeAndre Hopkins, and Deshaun Watson the best passing season of his career.
Yeah.
I would love Deshaun Watson. I don't think the Giants bring him in here because of the issues he had.
Right.
I'm a big Russell Wilson fan, but I also believe Russell Wilson's best days are behind him. He's been in the league 11 years now. And again, Russell Wilson is for a team with a built offensive line, with a team that is like close to making a Super Bowl. I don't think he changes things with the Giants. I don't think the Giants are a quarterback away from being a contender. And again, why would Russell Wilson want to come here with a team that has no offensive line and is in complete shambles? So maybe I would take Deshaun. I don't know if I want to give up all those picks, though.
Yeah.
It's a tough situation to be in. I'd rather the Giants just roll with it, address either the offensive or defensive line or both in the draft, go with Daniel Jones another year, and then try to redo the whole thing in 2023 when we have some cap space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We got a super chat from Matt Ruiz. Says, Joey, get off Haley. You're supposed to be streaming. I'm sorry, my Xbox is on still. I've been going crazy on that. So, I got caught doing that. So,
playing video games, man. You're like my kid.
Let's talk about the Eagles defense. And this is where I think the Giants are going to could do a good job. And that's running the football. Saquon Barkley coming off an ACL. And usually, guys coming off the ACLs, are having problems the rest of the year. We know he's missed more games than he's been on the field. What I really kind of get worried about is the read option from Daniel Jones, because this defensive line for the Eagles has suffered a lot this year. First defensive coordinator, I don't know if it's going to be a one-done year for Jonathan Gannon as of this year. I don't think he's used the cornerbacks have pretty much been like the focal point of this defense. Darius Slay, 3 touchdowns in 4 weeks. Avonte Max just got a new contract. Steven Nelson's been okay. They play a lot of, they do play some prevent while they don't want to give up the big play. They let kind of everything go underneath. But the defensive line has probably been one of the biggest weaknesses. Fletcher Cox really not having, probably one of the worst years of his career, to be honest. I think he's been on the decline. Me and Philly believe the past couple of years he's been on the decline as of right now. Josh Sweat got a new contract. Kerrigan's just, I don't know where he's been at. You know what I mean? So a lot has happened with this defense. So I think really I don't think defensive ends can maintain the outside too much. Losing Brandon Graham was huge for this defense. You lose the voice to your defense. So I think the Giants could run on the Eagles. I think they could do something to the outside in the read option. These defensive ends don't maintain, like I said before. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel Jones has had his best running games against the Eagles because of the over-aggressive defense. And it'll be interesting to see exactly what Freddie Kitchens draws up. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Jason Garrett scheme will still be there, but we'll see what Kitchens does. There's a couple things I want to address in the chat. Number one, I see a guy saying the Giants have been complete shambles for decades, maybe a decade, but decades, that's inaccurate, sir. We're the only team to win a Super Bowl in the last 4 decades, okay? In the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, and the 2010s. So that's an incorrect statement. Then another guy wants to talk about the passing statistics in the Big 12 when Jalen Hurts went to Oklahoma. No, 2 things about that. Number one, Jalen Hurts transferred to Oklahoma after he graduated Bama to prove that he could throw the ball, because if he stayed at Bama and did not go to Oklahoma, he wouldn't have been drafted. Number 2, if you ever actually watched the Big 12, they don't play defense in the Big 12. And Oklahoma is by far and away the best team in the Big 12. It's not, this year's different because their offensive line is gone. They all got drafted. But who cares about college statistics? Look at Graham Harrell's statistics at Texas Tech. The guy threw for 60 touchdowns one year. He threw 4 passes in the NFL. College statistics don't mean anything. Look at Dwayne Haskins' statistics at Ohio State. Does that matter? No.
Right.
You can't look at statistics in college football. It's a different story when you're playing against college. You're playing against maybe 2, 3, 4 at the most NFL defenders. It's a much different game. The defenses are more complex. And the speed of the game is way quicker. So I hate when people are like, oh, look at the stats here. It doesn't matter.
NASA always says it doesn't matter. But you know, that's right. Mr. NASA employee. How's NASA doing, by the way? What are you going to discover?
We're working on gravity that shoots you upward now.
Yeah, I bet. Why not? I mean, directionary gravity. That's the newest thing. Let me tell you all one thing. When the new year comes around, somewhere between January and February, you're going to hear NASA has a huge discovery, and they're going to talk about they found all these new things and they need all this new funding. It's a scam every year.
Right.
Pinky up.
It's
I should have got eggnog for the occasion tonight.
I thought you were going to have it.
I should have had it.
So, Blue City Empire Sports, I'm sorry, but I have a feeling that our New York Giants are going to lose to the Eagles tomorrow. I think, Philly, I'm going to ask you this, because did you worry, even in that Saints game, that they went conservative in the second half? They gave up 2 easy touchdowns, and both sides played conservative. So does that worry you any for the rest of the game?
It didn't worry me going into this game. It was worrying me in that game because you guys know when you're in the NFL, and if you take your pedal off the gas even a little bit at the wrong time, teams will come back on you. They did it way too early. I look at it as a learning lesson. The 2 biggest things that scare me tomorrow is it's the Giants and it's the NFC East, and you can never be comfortable. These games have a way, regardless of record, of always coming down to the fourth quarter. That's the way it happens. Second, with their offensive coordinator gone, we don't really know what kind of different varieties, what Kitchens is going to want to do. And I think that could be an advantage for the Giants. Those are the things that worry me going into tomorrow.
Right. Play D says, need to stop expiring Hurts in college. Guy's only 23 in his second year.
The Eagle fans are a lot like Giants fans. At the beginning of the year, I don't know how many Eagle fans are like, Hurts sucks. Hurts is trash. Get Hurts the hell out of here. Now all of a sudden he's God. It's the same thing with the Giants. Daniel Jones he sucks. He stinks. And then he has one good game. Oh, my God. He's Peyton Manning. It's amazing. We're very similar. I think that's why Eagle fans and Giants fans clash.
They're very similar.
Very similar. But
Giant fans and Eagle fans are similar. They're almost the same thing. It's just that the Giants went down this other path where they won Super Bowls and we didn't. We were disappointed. We were aggravated. So we looked like the bad kids. Now it's kind of where the Eagles have done more than the Giants last decade. And now Giant fans are more like the way the Eagle fans used to be. I really believe that.
Yeah. Well, listen, man, I said this before. When I started watching the Giants, it was 1984. So I missed the 20-year period beforehand where we were awful. Awful. Late 60s and throughout the 70s and the early 80s. So I got spoiled from 1984 to 2011, where we won 4 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Maybe we would have a couple of off years, but we'd be in the playoffs a couple of years, after a couple of years back in the playoffs. So I really haven't had to deal with 10 years of bad football like I have now. So it's really frustrating when you go through an entire regime and you try to rebuild, like you're in a rebuild and you've rebuilt poorly and you have no foundation. I equate what the Giants have done to building a house where your defensive and offensive line is your foundation. And I don't care how nice the house looks above ground. If your foundation's weak, your house is weak.
Right.
So the Giants have all these the Saquon Barkleys, the Kenny Galladay's, the Adoree Jacksons, the Kadarius Tonys, and it looks really nice above ground, but underneath it's terrible. So the Giants got to about halfway, 3/4 of the way through building the first floor, and then go, oh crap, our foundation sucks. Tear it down, start over again. And Dave Gettleman has put this franchise, it's worse off now than it was when he took over, and he took over a bad situation here. So again, I think the Giants they have to rebuild. It sucks, but this is going to be another 2-3 years of, at least next year is not going to be good because we are stuck with what we have. We have no cap space.
No.
And we'll see what the new GM does with the draft picks. So it's going to be an interesting offseason for sure for the New York Giants. And listen, if we win one game the rest of the year, I just hope it's this one. I don't want to wear that damn Eric Allen jersey. I want to see you wearing Giants stuff.
I don't want to see that.
Look at even Joey wants it to happen. Look at it.
I do not want to see that at all. That'll be horrible.
I don't want to lose, but I would like to see that though. I wouldn't mind that.
Oh, that'd be horrible.
Desert Eagle had to wear Cowboys stuff last year. I think it was last year he had to do that, and that was weird enough to see that. But
that'll be hard. That will be. I do have a blue Eagles hat. I can't wear that, I guess.
No, you have to wear a Giants shirt.
I'll get a giant hat. I'll get a giant shirt.
Wear a hat. Just you got to wear a shirt or a jersey.
I'll get some sunglasses and a whistle.
When it comes down to the Eagles, like this team, even obviously after Chip leaving after 2015, this team has rebuilt twice. Now after the Super Bowl year, Howie Roseman kept the same roster. He thought keeping the same roster and not hitting on these draft picks, restructuring players over and over and over, which obviously you're kicking the can down the road at that point, which you're going to have higher cap numbers down the road, which we were in cap hell this past offseason, having to restructure from $70 million over the cap, which is ridiculous. So going into next year, the Eagles have 12 picks. The Eagles have 12 picks, and obviously, going to have some cap space. Going to be under the cap, which we haven't been in a long time. So me and Philly have kind of talked about if Howie Roseman, before the season started, we kind of wanted him gone regardless. I think the stuff in the war room that happened in the third round was kind of ridiculous. That kind of threw me off the whole draft. I was like, how, embarrassing that was. And it seems like you have an analytical department, you have a scout department, and really it's mostly analytical picks that we're picking. It's not best player available, because at the end of the day, when we trade back from 6 to 12, still get Miami's first round pick, trade up with the Cowboys, get their third, give away only a third round pick to move up in front of you guys. I don't know if Devontae Smith was that main target the whole entire draft, because we don't really trust our GM. And obviously having more picks next year, potentially 3 first round picks for the Eagles next year, it's scary, so this team could turn around the next couple of years, but the only thing that's really, have us worried is this GM that we're not really a big fan of right now. But he's made some good moves this season. He's done some good things. He's locked some players up, and really it's player evaluation. It's talent evaluation, which really, that's, the trades and the cap and all that is great. But when it comes down to player evaluation, it's where it's at his weak point.
I'll be honest. I think Howie Roseman's done a damn good job for you guys this year. I mean, it did look like he was going down a dark path because you give Hurts all the money, and then in that same year you draft Jalen Hurts in the second round, which made no sense when he did it. None. I'm like, how do you give this guy $120 million? And now you're drafting a quarterback in the second round. Philly's reaction to that was great, and to CeeDee Lamb getting drafted by the Cowboys, that's one of the best ever. He loved that. But he bit the bullet. He's like, what? I made a mistake. I'm going to trade Carson Wentz. You get out from underneath that massive salary.
Yeah,
Hurts is doing a good enough job to win you games. You're 5-6, which I don't think anybody, maybe outside of the Eagle fan base, there's probably nobody thought the Eagles were on 5 out of the first 11 games.
Right.
You've got 3 really serviceable running backs. Your offensive line is one of the top 10 in football.
It is.
And you're getting better. And like you said, you could have 3 first-round picks. Miami's been terrible. Now, Miami seems like they're starting to play a little bit better.
Yeah,
but
I know.
Regardless, you could have 3 first-round picks, and your cap got a lot better.
Yeah.
You did all of that in 1 year. I got to give him credit where it's due.
Yeah.
Our GM can't do that. Our GM makes our situation worse every year. So I got to give him some credit. I think that he's done a really good job with it this year. I have no idea what his future is in Philadelphia, But that's a pretty impressive run. I mean, you guys are just 2 games out of first place. You do have the Cowboys again. You have a schedule. You have us twice. You have Washington twice. And you have the Jets. That's 5 wins for you guys. 10 wins. And then you got the game against Dallas. Yeah. You guys really could win this division.
It's possible.
That sounded at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
You really could.
And we're not. I don't think we're getting on an airplane the rest of the year. So they don't have to fly anywhere for the rest of the year, which makes it easier. It's been a dizzying off season. When you talk about the Carson Wentz trade and all that, I just cannot trust this guy with drafting players. I do not trust him with talent evaluation. If you're going to have 3 first-round picks, to me, you have to hit on those picks. You have to hit on these picks. This is such a huge off season coming up for us. I just can't trust him with it. Well, he can do contracts and all that, but
Devontae, I know that there were some Giants fans that were mad about Devontae Smith, like you guys jumping up. I didn't really care. I didn't think that was that big of a deal. I didn't think we were doing what we did either. I really wanted a lineman. I wanted Rashawn Slater. I wanted to fix our offensive line. When we traded back, I was happy we got the draft capital, but I was like, Kadarius Toney, I don't understand why we just spent $72 million on wide receiver. What the hell are we drafting one for? We need line help here. I did like the Azeez Ojulari second-round pick, but Devontae Smith would not have changed things with the Giants. He would not have been a game changer. This team has a lot more wrong with it than a wide receiver. So now looking back, it really doesn't upset me whatsoever. It's not like Devontae Smith is going to be a good receiver. Now, I never said anything bad about Devontae Smith. Philly, I thought Jalen Reagor was going to suck from day one. I said that guy's trash. That guy is not going to be a good wide receiver. But I never said that about Devontae Smith because I do think Devontae Smith will be good for you guys. Yeah. You're the won the ball. Devontae Smith is obviously starting to catch on now. But he started off slowly too, but you guys were still able to win the games because you can run the ball. That's important.
I think early in the year there was a lot of video showing him wide open. I think Hurts has progressed. Like he was pretty much go back to pass. He could have plenty of time. If this first read wasn't there, he was gone. Right. He's starting. I would say since the second half of the Chargers game, he's staying in there a little longer, stepping up a little more. And I think that's why we've seen Devontae Smith numbers start to go up. I really do. I think that's been a big reason why.
And I think
that's his ability to escape the pocket, feel pressure, which again is something our quarterback just doesn't seem to do. But that's what makes Hurts dangerous is his legs. And he's always been able to do that. Hey, when he played in Oklahoma, I used to scream at the TV, why isn't he running more? Riley, run him.
Right.
But he was throwing to CeeDee Lamb. He was a pretty good receiver, right, Philly?
Yeah, I mean, look, I knew that. I freaking knew that, right? I mean, didn't make any sense to me.
Even the past few weeks, I think they've given him more control of the offense. I've seen he's been changing he's been audibling, he's been changing if he senses a blitz, he's been changing things around. I think giving him more control. But what I don't get is even the beginning of the season where we're not running the ball whatsoever, making him throw 40 to 50 times. And like you got Nick Sirianni that came from a run first offense with the Colts, and then you have Shane Steichen that came from a heavy run offense with the Chargers. And there was no run game. Like any head coach would get fired at 5 games in, and this team just kind of turned around. I don't know if the front office handcuffed these coaches or what was going on there, but it's just crazy. I think, Phil, you mentioned, I think it was the second half of that Chargers game. I think that, the offense started to turn around a little bit and started to bounce out that offense a little. So
I think, and I also think with regarding the Eagles, I think that offensive line is really good. I mean, I think Jordan Mailata for starting left tackle, he's been great. What about Landon Dickerson? I mean, he's playing this year at left guard. These guys are playing really, really good. And that offensive line, if you got a good offensive line, you could run the ball. You could do a lot, And
that's the thing. We have no pass rush either. The Giants have no pass rush. It's just not – when we're good, which hasn't been in a long time, we still struggle against Eagles. Always. We always do. Even since I was a kid, since the Randall Cunningham days, we always found ways to lose, okay? Whether that was a blocked kick that went behind the scrimmage and ran in for a touchdown, whether it's Carl
Simmons, baby.
Cunningham had the rights and then Cunningham getting away from it, throwing a touchdown, whether it's Deshaun Jackson on a punt return in 2010 when we were up 31 to 10. with 7 minutes to go, whether it's Saquon Barkley running for 103 yards in the first half and us killing you guys and blowing it in the second half. It happens all the time. And again, the way our defensive front matches up against your offensive line, it's a bad matchup for the Giants. Patrick Graham plays a soft zone shell defense. And if you're going to do that, man, you're going to need some kind of pass rush. We don't have it. And you guys have a good offensive line. So, listen, I'm always nervous when we play Philadelphia, but knowing that your quarterback knows how to get out of the pocket and run and can hurt us with his legs, and knowing what Boston Scott has done to us in the past, always a little guy. It's Darren Sproles. It was Brian Westbrook back in the day. It was LaShawn McCoy. It's all these guys that are like 5'8", 5'9". They kill us. Right. Yeah, man, again, the Giants have to pull a miracle out of this one. I don't know what we're going to do, but for the last month, I've been like, why did the Giants just not just go for it all? We got nothing to lose. Why don't you play aggressive? Why don't you take some chances? Blitz on defense. Take some deep shots down the field. We just don't do it. We just do the same thing every week, and we get our faces beat in every week.
Yeah. We got a super chat from 03 says thick 500. Love the profile picture. Winning this bet and Bad Dog Eagles 30-20.
I don't know where these guys find these pictures.
I don't know. You're putting something out on the internet.
I do. I must put stuff out. I don't even remember putting out.
Super chat from Skid Marks. He says you guys should bet the loser of tomorrow's game must wear the skivvies around your neck and go.
Listen, that's pretty good because I called the Giants the skid marks in the underwear of life in my post-game videos. It's pretty impressive.
And
Jeremiah Butler with the super chat says, Denzel, I see you got the baddest Mad Dog on here.
We got Bad Dog the Mad Dog. That's right.
What's up, Jeremiah?
This man is always mad. I love the way Bad Dog gets mad because Bad Dog gets mad and he's like watching the game. He's like, I'm watching him with Chris. He's like, I'm not gonna say anything. I'll talk about this later. Then he starts his post game and it's like, and he starts talking about it and he starts calm. And by midway through, he's screaming, yelling and stuff. And I'm more of like a guy who's like from 0 to 100, like, fuck,
Yeah, yours are great. Yours are great. Yeah, I put a couple of clips on Instagram. I'm like, when he calls me mad, I'm like, I don't do this anymore. Like, I guess my team's so bad they kind of take it on me. But you're right. I'm talking about how I'm going to be calm, but then I start to think about how aggravated I get, and it just crescendos.
Yeah, it's like a movie. You just wait.
Well, it is.
It's hilarious.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I'm just behind you. Eagles game with super chat says Philly 500 when the Eagles drafted Hurts. Quote, what the
look, to me, it still doesn't even make sense as a pick. Just the strategy of it. I'll never understand it. It may work out for us, but
at the time, it was weird. It was a weird pick at the time.
Yeah, because we had Carson Wentz. If we didn't have Carson Wentz, then you'd be fine with this pick.
Right.
But because we had Carson Wentz, it made no sense.
Well, yeah, and it wasn't like they were trying at that point. They weren't trying to trade Carson. They're like, well, he's our backup quarterback. Like, well, why would you draft a backup quarterback in the second round? It doesn't make a bit of sense.
We got a super chat from the Phillies. Ace34 says, Bad Dog, we love you, buddy, but it took us 52 years to win a Super Bowl. So you haven't experienced over 2 decades like everyone else in this division.
No, that's true. That's true. Like I said, I've seen 4. I was going to say at the beginning, you guys have that intro where a guy's going like this with the Lombardi, and I'm like, I don't think we could do that because you can't fit 2 Lombardis in each hand, right?
Right. Hopefully, I'll know that one day.
Maybe you'll know it before we do it at this rate.
Yeah.
We got a super chat from Jarvis Lugerson. Didn't say anything, but appreciate the super chat, man. We got a super chat from Where You Hiding? What's going on, man? He says, Where You Hiding, fellas? Salute to y'all. Fly Eagles fly, and good luck, Bad Dog. We want to see the Boston Scott shimmy again. Laugh out loud.
Boston Scott.
No Jordan Howard. No Jordan Howard in this game this week. No Bruiser.
He's really been great for us too.
Yeah, it's not the Jordan Howards that hurt us. It's the Shady McCoys. It's the Westbrooks. It's
hopefully Miles Sanders too.
Darren Sproles. No, it's the guys that are like 5'7".
Deshaun always hurt you guys. Yeah, Deshaun always hurt you guys too, right? Westbrook.
Where are these picks?
I don't know.
Where are these coming from?
I look like I just got electrocuted. Oh my God, that's great.
That's
I remember that day actually.
Oh, he just changed it. It was the same guy I had the one earlier in the stream. 03 says, "Who remembers the Bad Dog 3500 impersonation?"
Yeah, that was
fun. That was fun.
That was fun. I totally enjoyed it. He did a great job. What are you doing?
Hey, back here. I want to talk today about Nick Sirianni.
TY Eagles Fly with the super chat. Appreciate it very much. He says, "Hey guys, 3500 Joey Shakes Baddog, my 3 favorite YouTubers pumped for Eagles vs Giants showdown."
Yeah, man. Thank you.
That.
We have 422 in the chat right now. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel. If you guys haven't liked the stream, please like the stream. If you guys haven't subscribed to Bad Dog Sports, please go to his channel. His live streams are lit. I'm always in those live chats. Try to let him see me in those chats. Real busy over there. I've known Bad Dog since I've been watching Bad Dog even before I got on YouTube for a long time. Very respectful, very humble, and great content, definitely. And the guy down below, subscribe to him, Philly 500. Co-host of the Philly Shakedown podcast. Their links are in the description below, so definitely subscribe to both of these guys. Talking Eagles Giants. So
yeah, Joey and I go way back to when I was just a trash talker on here. I made as a trash talker, I'd made my money smacking the Eagles fan base around because you didn't win anything. So that was always fun. I drove a lot of Eagles fans off of YouTube with my trash talk, and then 2017, I said I really can't do this anymore. It's gone.
Yeah.
They took
censorship.
my heart away. I just said Philadelphia. It's just
you got to win a few games.
My team sucks.
If we lose you guys tomorrow, that'll suck.
If we find a way to win tomorrow, I'm just gonna be happy. I ain't gotta wear that Eagles jersey. That's all. You can win. You can win the division. You can win the next game. I just want to win tomorrow, so I don't have to wear that Eric Allen.
No, I definitely want you
wear the blue because you'll be pissed the whole stream.
Oh, it'll be horrible the whole stream. I want to do I want you to Eric Allen, and I should have done the toupee earlier. I'd have had you an Eric Allen and a toupee. That would have been hilarious. We'll save that.
I mean, the Mark Holmes on the Mark Holmes video is going to be good.
Yo, you got to get Mark. Mark deserves it right now. His whole first half season, he's just been like on cloud 9. It's been easy street. Now he's starting to get a little nervous. Cowboy fans are getting a little nervous.
Yeah, when he started to blame the officials for losing.
He did. The whole game, he blamed the officials. And it was like
penalties.
Yeah, they called the guy offsides on a head bobble trying to snap the ball.
Yeah, that
kept the Dallas in it.
That's not a false start at all. That's a terrible call.
No, I mean I really hate when referees are that. What the? He's got a multiple.
He's got a library on you. That's what he's got.
Holy crap! These are hilarious.
03 says all up 500 got this from a community post.
I don't remember posting it, but I'm sure I did. Otherwise, you wouldn't have it.
Where are you there?
I'm in an airport, North Carolina. I was flying back from the beach.
Nice.
I had to wait 8 hours. Living the 4,500 life in California, barely surviving.
So, Bad Dog, what do you think about the Giants and especially next offseason? Do you think it's a clean house with the coaching staff, or is it more than that?
I think that if the GM goes, I believe that you have to change everything. You got to listen. The major problem is our owner. They live in the dark ages. This isn't 1986 anymore. The game has evolved a lot. You got to get some modern day scouting department. You got to get modern day analytics. You got to step into the 21st century if you're the Giants. I don't know. Gettleman's not going to be here. But we've talked about, in the Giants fan base, just kind of making Abrams almost a stopgap GM and keeping Judge there because, again, the cap restrictions are terrible. Now, maybe they do. Maybe they do bring in a new GM outside of it because we do have 2 first-round draft picks. But if you do this, if you go completely outside the franchise, you got to let the new GM make his picks. You got to sweep that coaching staff the hell out of there. Let him pick his head coach. Let him pick his offense coordinator. Let him pick his defense coordinator. Do not force Jason Garrett like they forced on Joe Judge. If he wants to take a quarterback, also let him take a quarterback. Daniel Jones was forced on Jason Garrett and Joe Judge. They didn't draft him. The Giants drafted him for Pat Shermer. Then they fired Pat Shermer. The Giants thought if we have a bad year, we're going to fire Pat Shermer. They should have never drafted Daniel Jones to begin with. they're such a disaster from top to bottom, and they have no direction. It's like they have no idea what they want to do. They're 3-13. They take a running back second overall. It doesn't make any sense. Then they take a quarterback who was on nobody's board that early. They take him 6th overall. And then he says, I'm going to fix the offensive line. And it hasn't happened. So I think if a new GM comes in here, I think you do need to see a new coaching staff. But who the hell knows? A franchise is it?
It looks like Joey straight out of Eastern Germany, like Joey Drago right there. Joey, I must break you.
Oh my God! Eagles gang says Devontae Smith is a stud and getting better every single week. That chemistry. I think Philly. I even ask you this: like, do you think they have to utilize more of these receivers? I feel like it's more Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert in this offense, or because somebody.
Yeah, I mean, somebody has to develop into a second receiver. I think Quez Watkins deserves more snaps. Rager is non-existent. I mean, they don't even he's non-existent. And then you get J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, who comes in only to block, except for every 10 games they throw one pass to him. Then everybody thinks he's worth the second-round pick, which I don't think so.
Birds Nation 302 of the Super Chat appreciates says we got this tomorrow, 30-17 us. Now, guys, do you think it's going to be a high-scoring game or a low-scoring game?
High. I think it's going to be high.
I think you guys will put up. I think you guys will be able to put up 30.
I think
again, I can see Jalen Hurts having a good day with his legs. I really can. And Dallas Goedert's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Again, the zone. The only thing I can say is, again, because I do believe Jalen Hurts is very dangerous with his legs, but I still don't think that he's a great passer at this point in his career. So to me, he's the type of guy that Graham could take advantage of with complex blitzes. And I think if you get to Jalen Hurts, you can force him to make a mistake. He does still make mistakes throwing the ball. Yeah. It's just if you get to him, you got to bring him down. You can't let him get out of there because then he's really going to hurt us. But I do think that if the Giants are going to win this game, they can't sit back in a zone and let Jalen Hurts have all day to throw or run. They got to make Hurts make quick decisions. You don't want to blitz a guy like Brady. He'll kill you. You don't want to blitz a guy like Aaron Rodgers. He'll kill you. The guys that have been there that can point out where guys are coming from and they know this stuff. A second-year quarterback that doesn't have the greatest passing skills yet, I think if you can confuse him and bring blitzes from places he's not expecting and you can get there, you can make him make a mistake. But if he has time to throw, he's going to kill us. He will kill us. So it'll be interesting to see what Graham does. But the Giants are 3-7. You got nothing to lose. If Hurts beats us throwing it, hey, good job, buddy. But you got to make him make a quick decision. Don't do that play.
I think it's a shame that we're playing to the Giants the first game of the season right now. This should have been the game to start the season with. I mean, look how much stuff we were talking in the offseason about the Eagles, their players keeping the Giants out of the playoffs, and the Giants want revenge. I didn't hear about that all week. It wasn't even an issue.
Done. I mean,
it wasn't even an issue. Yeah, it sucks because it feels like because they wait so long to play each other that it hurts. It hurt the rivalry in that game.
Yeah, the first game of the season would have been perfect. Now that would have been good.
Yeah, at the Meadowlands, that like a Monday night, that would have been unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We have a super chat from Jeremiah Butler. Says, with subscribers like these, who needs haters? You guys are great, man. You guys are great.
We love it.
Everybody got haters. If you don't have haters, you ain't reaching enough people.
That's right. Exactly.
Reggie Jackson always said they don't boo nobodies. So if you got haters, you're doing something correct.
That's right.
Gilly the Kid with the super chat says, do you think Coach Nick will have a say or whether Hurts is still the starter next year? If so, which way do you think he'll go?
Oh, I think he's keeping him. I don't think at this point they're veering off from Jalen Hurts unless he's like horrible the remainder of the season. I don't think they're going to go away from him. I'm not saying that they're saying he's a franchise quarterback, but I think they're going to take their time to evaluate him. He's got 2 years left on a rookie contract as a second-round pick. He's cheap. There's no need to rush him. So he'll be back next year.
It just bothers me because Howie Roseman was seen scouting out Sam Howell and Kenny Pickett. He was at that game, and they showed a video of him with the binoculars on. He was at that game. So I don't know if that's just a coach doing his due diligence or no, not a coach, but a GM doing his due diligence, or is that just he's just doing it just to do it? I don't get it.
That was NASA propaganda. That was scripted and it was propaganda. They literally put press releases that he was going to be attending that game, scouting. Why would they do that? Yeah, and then they show him on ESPN. He's got the biggest binoculars, three times the size of the guy's head. So to me, I think they were trying to make a point that Howie Roseman ain't going nowhere. Get used to it. I think it was propaganda, NASA style.
I think it depends on how you guys finish the season. Like if you implode and you do only end up winning 6 games, maybe with 3 first-round picks, you do look at a Kenny Pickett. Sam Howell really regressed. Hey, Sam Howell and Spencer Rattler were the 2 Heisman favorites going into this year. They both have had terrible years. And I believe the fix was in last night in that NC State one. How do you blow a 9-point lead with 1:34 to go? How do you let a wide receiver get behind you for a 65-yard touchdown and then give up an onside kick? There's something weird about that. But regardless,
that's weird.
If you guys are 9-8, or you finish 10-7, and you're winning games, I don't think there's any reason to replace Jalen Hurts because obviously you're only going to get better with 3 first-round picks.
Exactly.
Hurts does not cost you anything as a second round pick. There's no reason not to keep him there for at least next year.
Yeah, that's my thought. I mean, we got to see how we finish out, but I would say if the trend upwards continues, I think he stays one more year. And we need 2 defensive ends really bad. We just do not. Our defensive line is not what it used to be, and that worries me tomorrow.
I can tell you this about Hurts, and this is people are always like, "Oh, you hate Hurts." No, I hate the Eagles, but I've always liked Jalen Hurts. I as far as like a person goes, like I said, I made a freaking video about Jalen Hurts having the it factor after week 1, and I've always said Jalen Hurts is a good kid. He's confident. Like he knows what he can do. He understands his limitations. I don't feel like he tries to do too much. Mm-hmm. Again, I don't think he's the best passer out there, but he's confident. He's a good leader. He had this in Bama. He had it at Oklahoma. His teammates believe it. And again, I feel like he's a good kid. I feel like he works very hard. And what I really respected out of Jalen Hurts last year, and I know you guys had no reason to win that game last year, and I'm not mad at that. Giants fans are mad. We won 6 games. We won 6 games, okay? If we wanted to make the playoffs, win more games, that game shouldn't even matter.
Right.
We were 6-10. Who the hell? Oh, the Eagles. No, the Giants, okay?
Right.
He's there at the beginning of the 4th quarter, and you can read his lips going, that ain't right. I said, I love that. I love that he wanted to play. He had a terrible game against Washington, but you were right in the game, and he wanted a chance to win it.
Yep.
I respect that. I respect a guy that wants in there, that wants to get better, and that wants to win. Again, I don't think he's the best passer, but I respect the hell out of Jalen Hurts. I always have. And he's winning the games, and that's all that matters. Yeah. That's it. He can go 11. You telling me if he goes 11 for 24 for 147, an interception, and runs for 2 touchdowns, and you win, you're going to be no. Of course not. You'd rather that than him throw for 370 yards or 387 like he did in week 2 and lose.
Right.
So.
Does that get you to the big game though? So if a quarterback doesn't throw over 300 yards a game and he's only throwing for depending maybe 20 maybe 15 throws, maybe 14 throws, and it's a big run game. I mean, does that how do you read a quarterback to if they are a good quarterback going forward with an organization depending on their passing and how much the team runs the ball?
Again, I think it depends on guys that make throws when they have to. Like if he's a guy that's only asked to pass 20 times a game, but he makes the throws on 3rd and 8. He makes the throws on 3rd and 9, or 2nd down and 14, or he drives a team down the field when you're down by 6 and he scores the game on a touchdown. I think that tells you really all you need to know. I mean, when we beat the Raiders, that was a run-heavy game as well. Daniel Jones threw 20 times. He had 110 yards. I'd much rather that every week than Daniel Jones did have the one really, really big game against New Orleans where he threw for 400 yards and we won. It's completely different aspects Jones did in those 2 games. So I to me, stats are meaningless. I want to win games.
Do you think they're going to run a lot tomorrow? Are you expecting?
I don't know why they would go away from it. I mean, you guys have won by running the ball and not asking Jalen Hurts to carry the team. The week 2 or week 3, how many times did he throw the ball? He threw it too many. I'm like, why are you making him throw deep? That's not. He doesn't have a good touch on the deep ball. Let him throw those slants and the outlet passes, and let him use his legs and run the ball. And the Eagles are tough to beat because Hurts can do that.
Right. But what about the Giants though? Are they going to run the? Do you expect them to run the ball more tomorrow? With Garrett?
To be honest, really, I don't know what we're doing because again, I don't know what Kitchens is going to bring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think what the Giants need to do is if they find something that works, they need to stick with it. If we are running the ball effectively, then they got to keep running. I do think you should see Daniel Jones run more option plays, though, because, again, your defense is very aggressive. It always has been. Daniel Jones has had the biggest running games against you guys because of that reason. Saquon Barkley back there. Saquon has not been the player that he was in 2018, but he definitely is a bigger threat to break one than Devontae Booker. So I think if the Giants do some of that stuff and maybe get some pre-snap motion that kind of confuse where the Eagles, where the Giants are going to line up and get some mismatches, maybe Kadarius Toney gets on a linebacker or something.
Is he going to play tomorrow?
I don't know, man. I never know what hell's up with these guys. They're going to play. They're not going to play. They're questionable every week.
What are your thoughts on Kadarius Toney so far?
It's hard to say. He definitely has he's definitely like that
electric.
All human
twitchy.
He's very slippery. He's one of the most elusive guys out there as far as getting in the open field. The Giants don't do enough to get him in the open field.
Yeah.
They don't. They try to use these cute plays with Kadarius Toney and they don't work. Like we were running the ball down the Raiders' throat. Then it's 3rd and 2 at midfield, and they put Kadarius Toney at quarterback and the Wildcat and a read option. I'm like, Kadarius Toney can't read the lineman crashing down on him. That's not his job. He's not a quarterback.
Yeah.
We've had him throw the ball a couple times. I mean, a couple of Giants fans were like, Kadarius Toney's a better quarterback than Daniel Jones. I remember when the people were ready to get rid of Eli and Odell Beckham threw a couple of touchdowns. Like, hey, there's a quarterback. Odell, he threw a couple of touchdowns. I think Toney can be a very effective weapon if he's used right. I think the Giants have got to find a way to get him in space. If that's some bubble screens, if that's quick slants, if they're pick plays or rub plays or whatever, end arounds, something to get him in space so we can use his elusiveness because he's just out there running routes. I don't know if he's the best route runner out there. Right. So it's up to the offensive coordinator to get these guys in the right spots and get the matchups that favor the Kadarius Toney and the Giants. We haven't done it. It's up to Daniel Jones to get him the ball when he's open. That hasn't happened. People like the Giants receivers get no separation. In the NFL, you got to throw your receivers open. It's part of the NFL. The coverage is better.
I think they've done the same thing with Rager too. They use him more of like a gadget receiver where they use him on those little reverses and those little handoffs and just not. I mean, and coming from TCU where he had a big pedigree with special teams, and he seems to not be a good punt returner, a good kick returner. He runs backwards almost every time he tries. I feel like he's afraid to hit, or I don't know. He hesitates. He can't get through the first wave of guys that comes down. So I don't know what to expect from that pick. I give him another year because I usually give you, and we give about receivers 3 years to kind of develop. I guess, but as a number one receiver, definitely not as of right now. And I don't know where his future lies with the Eagles and where he's going to go.
Well, where's Jalen Reagor tonight? We have a Jalen Reagor. He comes in and his thumbnail is Jalen Reagor with a McDonald's hat on. And one of the things, and he's like, "I'll take your order."
One thing I can say, again, is a guy that watches the Big 12, usually good receivers don't come out of there because it is rare to see a cornerback or safety drafted out of the Big 12 early. They just don't play defense. CeeDee Lamb was a different story. Like I saw CeeDee Lamb at Oklahoma. Obviously, I'm like, this kid, the catch radius, the route running, the hand, it's stupid. He's going to be really, really good. Reagor, I knew was going to suck. Josh Doxson also came out of TCU, and I knew he was going to be no good. Corey Coleman came out of Baylor. Like there's a lot of receivers that come out of the Big 12 that just don't do anything in the NFL. For the simple fact that they're usually running wide open down the seam in the Big 12 or nobody plays in the defense. But Lamb was going to be really good. I liked him. I was scared you were going to get him. I was.
We should have. That was the move. That's what I would have done.
I was glad you took Reagor and not Justin Jefferson. I can tell you that. Even though he's ass, right, Philly?
Yeah, I was so scared of Jefferson because all I heard was he's only a slot receiver. He's only a slot receiver, and I'm like, I don't want that. But he's a hell of a player. He's a hell of a
Baddog, did you like Bateman from Minnesota or no? Were you big on him or no?
I didn't see Rashad Bateman play a lot. I know a lot of Giants fans liked him. Minnesota, they were pretty good last year. I didn't watch a ton of when I watch college football, it's definitely the Big 12 because of Oklahoma, and then it's the SEC. I watch a lot of Bama. I watch a lot of Georgia. I just watch the Florida games. I love the SEC. I think it's a really good conference. Even though the Big Ten, obviously Ohio State, Michigan, what a game today. And last year the Big Ten was great. Penn State, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio State, they were all really good. Iowa. But I didn't see Bateman play a lot, so it was hard for me to judge. I know a lot of Giants fans liked him, but I didn't see enough of him to know. I wasn't even looking at a receiver, especially after I was sitting there saying to myself, we have to sign Kenny Golladay for two reasons. Number one, it gives us a number one receiver. And number two, we don't have to draft him. Now we can do whatever we want. They ended up drafting one anyway. So I was shocked. I wasn't paying attention to wide receivers after we got Golladay, and that's probably why I didn't know much about Rashad Bateman.
I really thought you were going Slater with your first pick,
I did too.
You guys didn't even take an offensive lineman your whole draft.
No,
that really shocked the hell out of me. And then you took Kadarius Toney, and I just thought to myself, they really must have wanted Devontae Smith if they're still taking a receiver at 20. I liked your second round pick, but I was shocked you didn't take offensive lineman.
I was too. Dave Gettleman's the guy that says, I'm going to fix your line. I'm going to fix your line. Well, he said 6 first-round draft picks. He's taken one line. He took Barkley. He took Jones. He took Dexter Lawrence. He took DeAndre Baker. And now he took Kadarius Toney. So I'm going to fix your line. Hasn't fixed it. Still sucks.
Yeah.
We got through chapter. Jeremiah Butler says, I was saying Toney was slept on the whole draft. I like where y'all drafted him. I just don't think y'all should have drafted him. He's underutilized. I would love to invite Toney over Rager. He's what Rager should be. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I would love it too.
Yeah, if Kadarius Toney was on the right team, Jeremiah, he could be a superstar. It just did, and maybe he will be. He still could be really good here, but we have a lot more to do to get him better. We have so many holes up front where there's no pass rush, and the offensive line is obviously a train wreck. The Giants should not have been drafting wide receivers in the first round, but I definitely think Kadarius Toney is extremely skilled. Like I said, especially when he gets out in space. I love watching him run. It's a lot of fun because look at this guy. You can't tackle him, but we can't get him the damn ball. So, and he's had a hard time staying healthy. He had a weird offseason.
His offseason was weird.
A lot of things were going on with him.
Right.
Yeah.
I think he's special teams. They use him on special teams, they don't use him on special teams all, nothing like that.
I don't think. I know maybe a little bit here and there, but they haven't used him.
Right.
I think he's doubtful for tomorrow. I think him and Kyle Rudolph are doubtful.
Rudolph, I don't think is playing, but I know Toney.
I think Tony's doubtful. Shepard's out, so if they lose Kadarius Toney too, I think that's tough. I think that's really tough.
No, we'll see. I mean, again, it all depends on the Giants' line holding up and Daniel Jones making the right reads. And we have to run the ball. We have to find a way to run the ball one way or the other. It's got to happen. So that's going to help Daniel Jones if we can run the ball. We can't run the ball. We ran against Raiders, and we won the game.
No, I hear you. I have a different question. It's regarding. I saw you. Are you going back and forth with somebody over Eli Manning or how good he was? I think it's a tweet by you talking about how is Eli Manning a Hall of Famer, and I love throwing this question out. Is Eli Manning a Hall of Famer?
I don't think that Chris put something out.
Maybe it was Chris. It was one of these.
I did respond. I said if somebody doesn't think Eli Manning's a Hall of Famer, then they're either football ignorant or they're just a hater. I don't see how he's not. He's top 10 in every major passing category. He's one of a handful of quarterbacks to win 2 Super Bowl MVPs. He's a Hall of Famer. I don't know how he's not. I don't understand how anybody could possibly sit there and go, all the things that Eli accomplished. Was Eli inconsistent? Did Eli make some bad throws and some bad interceptions? Yeah, trust me. Giants fans remember. But he's another guy that had it. And when you needed him to drive, he got you. He
Yeah.
did. So, yes, absolutely a Hall of Famer. There's no question about it. I mean, Bob Greasy's a Hall of Famer. He sucked, I mean, I love Joe Namath, but Joe Namath's stats are awful. I know it was a different era.
Different era, yeah.
Yeah, there's
Hall
of Fame that shouldn't be there.
I agree. I think Eli's a Hall of Famer too. I always think that Eli is underrated in a lot of respects because of his dumb face and his dumb look and stupid plays.
That's a full hall hustler.
Right, it is. But if you look at this guy in the playoffs on the road, 2 years you guys won the Super Bowl, right? He had to go on the road.
Yep.
A lot. He had to go into Green Bay. He had to go into Dallas, and he won some big games. And then you beat the Patriots, who were an undefeated team at the time. I think you got to put him in there. I do.
Yeah, he's definitely Hall of Famer. I don't think there's any question about it. I mean, you want to talk about an overrated guy? People say Eli Manning's overrated. I always laugh. I'm like, I don't understand that. Everybody says he sucks. How could a guy that sucks be overrated? That's just very strange. Now, Troy Aikman, there's an overrated guy. Troy Aikman threw for over 20 touchdowns once his entire career. He had 165 touchdowns, 141 interceptions, played with one of the best running backs ever, probably one of the greatest offensive lines of all time. He had a Hall of Fame receiver. He had a great fullback. He had a great tight end. He had one of the greatest coaches of all time. That's an overrated guy. Right place, right time. Put Troy Aikman on that team. And look at Troy Aikman in his career. He was terrible.
I totally agree with you. And it's funny because I just had this conversation with Cowboy fans, and it ultimately goes from Troy Aikman to Emmitt Smith. And Emmitt Smith is better than Barry Sanders. And I'm like, you're on drugs.
Yeah.
You're on drugs to even say that. Barry Sanders is a guy, like you talk about Deshaun Watson, no offensive line. Barry Sanders, he had the worst blocking offensive line for him.
Yeah,
it's
and
ridiculous.
When they got him a lead blocker, he ran for 2,000 yards.
No,
he never had a lead blocker. They ran the run and shoot,
and they took him out of the red zone.
Yeah,
they took him out of goal line situations. They took him out of the game. Yeah. They take him out. Why? I have no idea. I never understood that.
Oh, me neither.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
Was it Wayne Fonts? Mother humper.
Yes.
Mother humper. That guy used to piss me off.
We got a super chat from Jeremiah Butler. Says the Rager pick infuriated me so much that I can even look at his face without wanting to punch it. I think another thing with Rager too is Twitter. He actually blocks his comments. Like you can't, unless he follows you, you cannot comment on any of his stuff.
Well, he gets mad. So, he gets mad all the time.
Call with fans and everything, and you start doing that in Philadelphia, forget it. You just can't handle it.
Same thing in New York. You don't want to take on the fans. Like I said, Eagle fans and Giants fans, Philadelphia and New York are very, very similar. It's bad weather. It's tough, gritty, hardworking, blue collar people that are extremely passionate and extremely stubborn. New York and Philly are identical, and which is exactly, like I said, why Giants and Eagles fans bash heads so much, because we are so similar. Yeah. We are very hard on our teams. We expect greatness from our teams. We will bash our teams, and at the same time, we will stick up for our players and our team like nobody's business.
Yeah,
we are very similar fan bases. There is no more similar fan bases in sports, I think, than Philadelphia and New York fans. I think we're very similar.
I agree. I totally agree. Speaking of our division, what are your thoughts on what's going on with the Cowboys right now? Do you think this is choke season for the Cowboys, or you think that they'll bounce back once they get their players back?
Yeah, I think that losing Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb, they still put up 33 points.
Yeah.
The defense for the Cowboys, I think it's starting to crack a little bit, which you haven't seen. The game against Denver was very puzzling. That was weird. And then to lose to the Raiders, I don't know. It's very strange. If the Giants are the only team in this division that could beat the Raiders, what?
That's crazy.
Weird. Yeah, that's why they play the games. But I think the Cowboys will hold on to win this division, but I don't think they're not as good as they looked in the first half of the season. I think teams are adjusting to Dallas, especially on the offensive side of the ball. And I don't know if they're good enough to win a playoff game. I hope not. I would like to win the division. I'd like them to see them lose and get blown out. I hate Dallas too.
Yeah,
they're sitting Zeke for the next few weeks on top of it. So I don't know if Pollard could take on all of those carries unless they have Corey Clement behind him or whoever they're using, behind him. So I'm not really sure.
They got some interesting games left. I mean, the Saints don't look good at all, but they are in New Orleans. They've lost 3 straight. Maybe they get Alvin Kamara back. It could be one of those games that could sneak up on Dallas. They got Washington twice. That's never easy. They got the Eagles at the last game. They got Arizona, and I think they got you guys one more time.
Yes, they do.
So you don't know. This division got really close really quick, and it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Got a super chat from Burgess 302 says Eli Manning sucks because he's a Giant.
That's pretty much the consensus when you're not a Giant.
That's fair.
Right.
That's fair.
Right. But we have 470 people. Appreciate it being here. Really just supporting all three of us, and obviously a big shout to Bad Dog for coming in today. Just talk Eagles Giants for tomorrow, and been three of us. We don't sugarcoat on our content. We're straight up with everything that happens with our teams, and that's why I respect these two individuals to my right. Really respect. I've known these guys for a long time, and definitely subscribe to both of their channels if you guys haven't. Links in the description below. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, like the stream if you guys haven't. We do the Philly Shakedown podcast Saturdays, Sundays. So definitely check it out. We'll be doing it either late. We'll figure it out. We'll let you guys know for tomorrow. So other than that, guys, anything else? Any closing?
No. Well, thank you, Bad Dog, for coming on tonight. We want to thank NASA for allowing Bad Dog to come on. Because since Bad Dog works for NASA, just let me know next time you guys are launching some shuttles or satellites so I can jump on there. Just tell them to unblock me in the chat so we can talk.
I'm going to send some drones over your way just to kind of, spy on you, see what you're doing. I
bet.
I try not to give you the insider information. But I appreciate you guys reaching out to me and like Chris had family over, so he couldn't do it. But definitely the next time we play, we would like to, the both of us, to hook up with you guys. And
definitely, yeah.
Obviously, I can't say good luck because I'd be lying. I'm not wishing you good luck. I want you to lose every game the rest of the season. I can't stand the Eagles. I'm not going to sugarcoat that either. But you two guys, and I love you guys. You're two of my favorite content creators out there. I have the utmost respect for you because, like Joey said, you guys call it like it is. It's nice to have fans that are not afraid to criticize their players and not think everything is great because it's not always great. You guys do a great job. You work very hard, and I like seeing you guys succeed. You guys are awesome, and I like your podcast. I pop in there once in a while. I don't ever say anything because I'm a Giants fan, so I just kind of keep my nose out of it. But you guys do a great job, and I look forward to working with you guys again.
Of course, you and Chris as well, man. We love you to death.
Yeah, we love
hey,
you
look,
too.
Jalen Rager's here. John, he's here. Look, click on that thumbnail real quick. Look at this. Look at this. You see him? He's the branch manager. Rager's above him.
I didn't even know he was still on your team.
He is. He caught a big pass last week. He got up and then he did this, and everybody's like, "Oh, he's pointing at the guy." No, he's opening his umbrella. It's like,
what a horrible pick, man.
Look at Jalen Rager. He's ready to take your order. That is so great. I want to make this shirt of that. Like, I just want that as a shirt.
All right. But I don't want to hold everybody up, but I had a fantastic stream with both of you guys. It was a great time tonight. But definitely subscribe to Bad Dog, subscribe to Philly 500. Links in the description below. Subscribe, like the stream, and we'll see you guys later. So good luck to you, Bad Dog, for tomorrow, and we'll be ready. We'll see. I think really at the end of the day, the Eagles will really only beat themselves up in this game tomorrow. And I think if they stray away from the formula that they've been, playing, I think the Giants could pull out with a win if they make any mistakes. I think that could happen. So
it'll come to the fourth quarter. It's always comes to the fourth quarter, regardless of the records of these teams.
I hope it does because I have a bad feeling. I never have a good feeling when we play you guys. So this is nothing new.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I feel like we should win. Right. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Right. Just get that Eric Allen jersey ready, baby.
It's there. It's hanging there. I hope it continues to hang there. You might have to start searching for. We get into the fourth quarter and it's looking bad. You might have to get on Amazon. Start.
I might have to go get a Phil McConkey jersey.
Whatever it takes.
Because I hated that guy more than probably anybody that's ever played in the National Football League.
You didn't like the towel wave?
I just want to kill him. I just want to punch that guy. He's so bad. Just I hate the face, man. You know.
No. All right, guys. Well, good luck tomorrow, and we'll see you guys hopefully with a win coming out tomorrow with a win over the Giants at MetLife. So, all right, guys. We'll see you guys later. Remember, Shake Squad up, follow. Peace out, guys.
Later, guys.
Peace out.